fantastic game right here on a Saturday night here at the Saville Centre in just a moment. But for now, we are going to step aside and bring you the land acknowledgement and the national anthem. We'll be back in just a couple of moments right here on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel.
And all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich our vibrant community. At this time, fans, we'd ask that you please rise, if you are able, for the playing of our Canadian national anthem.
It's a rivalry renewed once again between Alberta and Trinity Western on the men's volleyball court. Let's go through the starting lineup. First, for the visiting Trinity Western University Spartans, 7-2 on the season, 4th in Canada West with 21 points. Jackson Corneal, the 5th-year middle blocker from Surrey, BC, wears the number 3. Willem Van Hoosen, 2nd year out of Langley, wears the number 5. Number 7 is Caden Schmidt, the impressive 4th-year outside hitter from Mississauga, Ontario. Number 13, Corey Schoener, the 5th-year middle blocker from Waterloo, as well as number 17, Liam Rempel, the 5th-year middle and outside from Vernon, BC. Number 19 is the center, the 5th-year Ansem Ryan from Germany, and the libero, Tate Callis, the 3rd year from Washington for head coach Adam Schreimer in his 4th year. For the Alberta Golden Bears, 8-1 on the season, 2nd in Canada West with 24 points. They have middle blocker number 2 in his 2nd year, Owen Harris from right here in Edmonton. The number 4 is the 4th-year center. That's Luke Waddell from Red Deer, Alberta. Number 5 is the 5th-year outside, Matt Shand from Prince George, BC. Number 8 is Dylan Martins, the 3rd-year outside from Winnipeg, Manitoba. There's a look at the captain, number 13, Jacob Sargent, the 4th-year outside from Lethbridge, Alberta. Trent Jarawati, the 3rd-year middle blocker, number 14 from Mulmer, Ontario. There's one of the liberos, number 6, Merrick Edwards, the 4th year from Calgary. Owen Genge, the 4th year from Burnaby, has the other black libero shirt on. He wears the number 9, and the head coach for the Golden Bears is Brock Daviduck. It's his 7th season at the helm of the Bears. So here we go, guys. Number 2 in the country against number 3 in the country for a 2nd straight night. Mark, I think the big sticking point from last night was that 3rd set. It was 1-1. Trinity Western had just won the 2nd set, a tight one to get back in the match. And that 3rd set was all Alberta all day. They won it by 9.
Yeah, it's very strange that you see a team win a set and then go on to lose a set by almost double-digit points, and was down at one point in the set by double-digit points. You really just don't see that too often, especially from 2 of these elite teams here. So again, it's when those things go wrong right in a row, and when something goes wrong, everything seemed to fall apart, and all the wheels fell off in that 3rd set for the Spartans.
A 9-point difference in the set was equal to the differences of the other 3 sets combined, just as a comparison. Should be a good one here between the Bears in the evergreen and gold. There's Owen Harris up against the Spartans, who will be in the predominantly blue jerseys with the white lettering and the numbering. Meg, you've been a part of some of these Alberta Trinity Western battles. What can you remember over the years when these 2 schools get together?
Oh, it's just exciting. The atmosphere is exciting. We saw, especially in that 1st set, how much the crowd got into and behind the home team here. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bears can rally behind the cheering crowd that they have out here tonight.
Admittedly, maybe a little bit of a smaller group on hand here this evening as Van Hoosen gets us started with a massive serve, and that was an aspect that was missing yesterday from Trinity Western. They only had 3 aces. There's a big serve from Van Hoosen to get us going. Trinity is second in the conference in aces, coming into action here this evening with 59, make it 60 now, and Van Hoosen goes 1-1. Last night, 3 aces, 17 errors for the Spartans, 9 and 26 for the Golden Bears. So both teams can improve a little bit from the end line. Here's a look at Luke Waddell. Ryan out to Schmidt. Clever with the offhand. Unfortunately, Schmidt couldn't keep it in bounds, and it goes out for a Golden Bear point.
And no surprise yesterday that Caden Schmidt was a player that Trinity really leaned on, especially when their other outside hitters were struggling. So I'm expecting that we'll see a lot from him tonight as well.
Of the 98 attacks Trinity launched yesterday, 42 were from Schmidt. He does see a lot of volume. In fact, the most attempts in the conference. And there's a middle run there put away by Liam Rempel. Another one of those fifth-year players for this Spartan squad. It'll be Rempel back at the service line. Rempel out of Vernon, BC. Martins, big swing, Dylan Martins. And her first real good kill of the contest goes to the Bears. Martins will go back to the service line now, 3rd year out of Winnipeg. Feels like almost every player on this floor is in some way, shape, or form a part of their national team as Martins floats it into the net. Dylan was on the Final 6 team for Canada at the Norseca Final 6 tournament. Ansem Ryan played for Germany at the FISU event this past summer. Germany falling in the quarters to Japan at home. Tight at the net, dunked down by Schoener. Corey Schoener getting involved early, and the service pressure guys from Trinity Western seems to be a lot more intense than it was last night.
Yeah, definitely.
They must have done a bunch of stuff this morning, working on that for a straight hour in their serve pass for sure.
All the way out wide to Shand, a hard off hands, tracked down by Van Hoosen. Now Schmidt goes up, and he tried that little dump attempt again, and it works. That's twice Caden Schmidt has gone up. The Bears have put a bunch of blockers in the wall, and he's thrown the changeup.
It's interesting to see him use quite a lot of off speed so early in the match. We saw him last night take a lot of really hard aggressive swings to start the game, and so it's interesting to see that he's making that change early.
And that's an ace right on the back line for Ryan. Different looking Spartans group tonight.
Well, and this is sort of the energy we saw from the Spartans and the confidence early on in that first set last night. So we'll see if they can maintain that momentum throughout this game.
It's a good pass from Merrick Edwards. Middle run, Cherawati. Trent Cherawati scores for Alberta.
We saw both these middles battling yesterday, Cherawati and Schoener. Both huge guys, just able to really rip on a ball when they need to. We'll expect to see some more battles tonight.
Cherawati going back to the line. 2nd team Canada West All-Star in last year. And Cherawati's got himself an ace. Well, he came in tied for 11th in the conference with 11, but that is going to break that tie. Little collision too between Van Hoosen and the libero Callis. That one from Cherawati just got over. Schmidt, 3rd straight off-speed swing from Schmidt. This time, he lets it fly, and it's right at Waddell, but a net touch is called on Alberta. Point, Trinity Western. Jacob Sargent, you can see him saying that was the ball, but it's not going to change the official's mind here.
I really love how fast Callis is running these out-of-system balls from the back row. They're running almost tempo balls to the pin. Very impressive from a libero.
I watched him in warm-up, and I said to Meg, why isn't he hitting? Why isn't he playing as an outside? Because he's got some serious hops, too. Got up and was crushing a couple in warm-up as that serve was well long.
Yeah, oftentimes you get liberos or former outsides who are just a little bit too short to be playing at this level, but they played all throughout their club and high school careers. So they've usually they're honestly usually one of the most athletic people on the team.
Makes a great pass there, Callis does. And a rip from Corneal off the block and out. Another Spartan point here.
Yeah, Corneal, a player yesterday who was hitting in the negatives for the Spartans. So it's good to see that first swing of the night, a really nice high off hands, and really using Harris to his advantage there.
Harris maybe just a little late getting over as we see Schoener back at the line. Out of Waterloo, Ontario. Big time rip from Schoener.
We talked about their serving, Grayson, being a lot better tonight. Oftentimes I find teams the second night who are the away team serve better because they've had that opportunity to serve in the gym the first night. They have serve and pass, so they're generally more comfortable in that gym the second night.
Schoener goes 1-1. Still a 2-point lead here for the Spartans early days in the opening set. And we'll get a look at Matt Shand going back to the service line for Alberta. Shand has certainly been an important piece of this Bears offense. Second most volume of attacks so far this season. Tricky serve, and it's just knocked right back down by Martins on the overbump.
Yeah, huge discipline from Martins not being on the net. Cute little play. He definitely could have absolutely thumped that one, but he restrains himself.
Shand just gets it over. Middle run! Brilliant from Rempel. Made the pass and got it right back.
Rempel with 4 kills on 5 attacks last night, so a really good hitting percentage, but I think just as the game went on, he didn't give enough opportunity to hit just due to the Trinity passing and digging.
Waddell will go to the middle. Harris is blocked. Van Hoosen shut the door. Point of emphasis typically for Alberta to get the middles, particularly Harris, involved early. This time, no way through. Corneal will serve. Spartans by 3. Martins off of hands. Ryan was able to locate it, and the Spartans scramble it back over. Back row, Shand couldn't get on top of it. And another point here for Trinity Western, and Brock Davidoff has seen enough early on. Timeout, Alberta. 12-8. The Spartans have the lead here early on, as we'll step aside for a quick break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes right here on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel.
The science-backed recovery tool trusted by elite athletes to perform at their peak.
Global News, our city, our news.
Back inside the Saville Community Sports Centre here in Edmonton, there's Jackson Corneal getting ready for another serve for Trinity Western. He and the Spartans lead the Bears by 4 here. About midway through this opening set. Grayson, Meg, and Mark here with you on a Saturday night. Hope it's going well. Here comes the serve from Corneal to get us going out of the timeout. Back set, Sargent from the back row, and Jacob Sargent goes cross court.
That was a hugely successful play for the Bears last night. That C ball to Sargent, really effective. He hit it both down the line and cross court, so we'll see if Trinity can make a few adjustments tonight and shut him down there.
Owen Harris, Canada West rookie team member last year. Outside, Van Hoosen stuck in hands. Good reaction from Waddell. Here come the Spartans again. Ryan will dump. Martins down the line, and he found the spot. Dylan Martins.
Nice calm set by Waddell there out to Martins. There's a lot of scrappy play there. You'll see nice high set to him, gives him a lot of opportunity to hit straight down the line there.
Ryan hoping it was going long, but it never did, as Harris takes a big breath and lets it fly. Outside, Van Hoosen. That's a massive swing for Willem Van Hoosen, who was very quiet Friday, but he's been very loud early on today.
A really nice swing. Sees the double block and just pulls it sharp across court.
2 kills last night on 14 attempts for Van Hoosen as he puts that one long. He's already eclipsed his total from last night. Serving for Alberta will be their setter. That's Luke Waddell, the Red Deer product, Lindsay Thurber alum. Big time swing, but it just went a little too long. Didn't cut to the floor in time.
Waddell with 4 service aces, but 6 errors last night, so looking to definitely improve, at least on that error side.
Tricky serve at Sargent. He has to get up, swing hard. It's awkward for Schmidt, and he did really well with the left hand, throwing it into the block and getting a point.
Wow, Van Hoosen just backpedaling on this one. Really didn't want to get called on a carry here, so he just kind of, he hits the ball as a set, and it works out really well for Schmidt.
Another serve here for Rempel. Back row, Shand. I think he stepped a toe on the line, which is a shame for Shand because that point was going to go Alberta's way. And a sub for the Bears. Waddell's going to come out. Jarvis Page, the second year from Sydney, Australia, comes in. We've seen this occasionally just to give Waddell a little bit of a break or get a different look at setter. Page just a second year, but spent some time this summer with the Australian national program. So he certainly has some big game experience. And he goes right back out to Sargent. Ryan, Schmidt, blocked! Stuffed by Cherawati! And he gets the team fired up.
That is just what the Bears needed at that moment. Things not looking as solid for them to start here, but a block will get them going here.
Alberta, almost 2.5 blocks per set, third in the conference. That one from Martins goes long, and errors for Alberta was a problem yesterday with 26, and it's been another issue here today, allowing the Spartans to go up by 5. Here's Ryan. Big blast from Ryan. Page tries to save it, and he didn't quite keep it on the right side of the antenna. Reminder that you can go around, you just have to play it outside the antenna and bring it back in. Shan's going to come out. Justin Lowring comes in for Alberta. We typically see Lowring come in as a serve sub, but he's going to get a little bit of extra run here and maybe give Shand a bit of a breather. Here's Ryan again. Another big blast right at the newcomer. Made a great pass, and it sets up a kill for Sargent. That'll feel good for Lowring coming off the bench and making an impact.
Yeah, I've been looking a little bit at who the Spartans have been targeting on offense, and they are on serving, and they're really going at Shand here. So it was interesting to see if they're going to go after the new guy coming onto the floor, which often is a really good strategy.
Cherawati's serve. Good pass from Callis again, and then Schoener is able to convert. It's a very effective Spartan offense at the moment. Caden Schmidt. Watch the big serve here. Didn't get his best. Lowring throws it off the block, tried to recycle it. There were 3 in the wall, nowhere to go. Points, Trinity Western. And Brock Daviduk's going to take his second timeout of the opening set as the lead has ballooned to 7 here, you guys. It's all Trinity Western in this opener.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Trinity. Their offense is fantastic right now. Ryan's doing a great job of spreading it out, so there's a lot of middle attacks, but he's also getting those outsides obviously involved as well. And, I mean, the Bears are just, they're not able to respond to the aggression that's coming from Trinity's side.
What's an adjustment you'd like to see Alberta make here, Mark?
They're doing the Spartans are doing a good job of picking on the front row left side from the Bears. So Meg, you could probably speak to this as a former left side. It's really annoying when you're getting served really hard serves to try to get back up and swing, right? So it disrupts your rhythm. Yeah,
exactly, and that's often a very good tactic that a lot of teams use, particularly against players who are very strong on offense and maybe they're attacking. So if, say, it was the Bears team right now, they're often serving Schmidt. Not only because when he's the front row passer, it's a great opportunity to get him out of system, but also because it forces him to be involved in every aspect of the play, which makes it more exhausting mentally as the game goes on to keep up with that.
It's a tactic that plays in the long game as well as the short game.
Exactly.
Maybe those legs won't hold up if it gets to a 4th or 5th set. Of course, these guys are such good athletes.
Hard to keep that squat for 5 sets.
It's true. Here is Schmidt out of the timeout, and he goes long with it, so maybe that's exactly what head coach Daviduk was aiming for. Throw off the rhythm a little bit.
To go back to your question about what else you can do to mitigate things like that, you can pinch in. As a teammate, you can step towards the guy who's getting served heavily and help out on their seam.
Here's Jacob Sargent into the net. Bears can hardly afford these types of errors at this point if they hope to come back, although it's getting a little bit late to maybe talk about that with a 7-point lead at 21-14.
Looking like a reverse set of set number 3 yesterday.
Yeah. Here's Schoener back at the line. And it's not that Trinity has been perfect from the service line either. They've obviously increased their pressure from last night, but they're making errors as well. Here's Lowring, the first year out of Toronto. Played with that impressive Pac-Man volleyball club out in the GTA area. That one from Schmidt, they wanted him in the back row, and it was just kind of in between Schmidt and Van Hoosen there.
Yeah, both teams struggling a little bit with that pipe ball. That was more of a push pipe, but both teams just not able to connect right now and get that play going.
Lowring getting organized again. And it's over, and it's easy. That's Jarvis Page with a huge thump.
That was massive, and so massive. The Spartans are going to call a timeout, try to stop this run that the Bears are on.
A couple of good serves put in there by Lowring, and then a kill there for Page as the Bears show off a little bit of their depth. And it's one of those things when the set gets a little bit out of hand, you go to some of those bench players, and I think Brock Daviduk's getting exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes when you get those subs, they can either turn the momentum in a good way or a bad way. I think initially when those substitutions were made on the Bears side, it was a bit flat, but I think they've really started to kind of find the rhythm now, and Page is doing a really good job of running the Bears offense and being a really effective player to sub in there.
Meanwhile, it's a moment for Adam Schreimer, Mark, to just settle things down. You've still got a comfortable lead here late in the set. Just regroup.
Yeah, we've seen Schmidt start to get really picked on. You mentioned that, Meg, and it's happened since you've mentioned it too, to that very last point, right? Schmidt not able to handle that last ball that caused that party ball for Jarvis Page. So again, they might look to shake things up here, pinch some seams maybe, or change things up a little bit. This is an interesting formation here from the Spartans.
Look how far into the court they are, knowing Lowring probably not going deep. Van Hoosen down the line. Willem Van Hoosen turning the shoulder.
Well, I think oftentimes Schmidt prefers to pass with his hands if he's able to. He's I would say, a really good passer when he is using that setting motion. And as we saw there, he made a great pass up to Ryan.
Jackson Corneal once again for the Spartans, just pops one over. Page out to Martins, had to readjust, use the offhand. Van Hoosen blocked and it falls again. Willem Van Hoosen, a completely different player than what we saw last night.
That's a really good reset from him. Obviously did some stuff last night, took a look at video and said, hey, what am I doing wrong here? What can I change? And really making an impact in this first set here.
Another serve from Corneal. Sargent out to Martins. Free ball chance. Dumped down by Ryan. Put away easily there by the Spartan setter. Here's a look at the replay.
Not much of a reaction here from the Bears. And he turns too, right there. He drops his shoulder and nobody really reacts at all.
Well, you saw Harris there pinching a little bit over, trying to cheat and find his way to the block.
Set point chance, Trinity Western. And they'll get a swing here. Ryan, back set. Rempel dumped it over. Rempel keeps it alive. Ryan puts it away. How about that on the second swing? Rempel took it down and Ryan finished it.
That's a good way to end a set. That was a very impressive play. They love doing that. We saw that a little bit yesterday. When you've got a 6'7" setter, you can really hammer on those.
First set goes the way of Trinity Western. We'll step aside and be right back. Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel. Stay with us.
Program will resume.
Back inside the Saville Community Sports Centre here, South Campus of the University of Alberta in Edmonton. Through the first set, Trinity Western up 1-0 in this match, 25-17. They took the opener. Gracie Knutson, Mekiso, Mark Alexander here with you, Canada West TV. And again, a special hello to those watching on TELUS and on CBC. Happy to have you along. This is our first of our doubleheader. The men on the floor first. I believe next semester they flipped. It'll be the ladies who play the first games and the men will play the second games. That's 2026's problem. For now, the Bears staring down a 1-0 deficit after the opening set, and they'll be down by a point here in set number 2. Luke Waddell's serve goes wide in that opening set. 1 ace, 4 errors for the Bears, compared to 4 and 6 for Trinity Western, who served really well.
Yeah, they're really putting the Bears in some trouble. Even those ones that aren't aces, they're a really good serve that's putting them in some problems.
Middle for Cherawati. It's kept alive by Edwards. They try Cherawati again, and what an effort from Corneal to keep it alive. And Schmidt's going to get called here for a lift. It was a great effort defensively by Trinity Western, but Schmidt had to reach back, and it just sat in his hand for a little too long.
Yeah, this one, understandable call. A little bit of he had to throw it, but wow, what a pancake there.
It's textbook pancake. Nice extension.
Middle, Schoner. Oh, he saw an hour of room right there, and he just poked it to the open spot.
There are a lot more tactical plays coming from the Spartans tonight than there were last night. Obviously did a lot of hard look on video and found some openings. That's a great tip. Nice open spot in the Bears defense.
Here's Ryan. Just got it over. Tricky for Martins. Now out to Sargent. How about that for picking your spots?
Sargent's a player that has such good court awareness, so he's really able to jump and look and see where that defense is open and make a really smart shot to score for the Bears.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest set either, a little bit far off the net, so he adjusts really well to that.
Here's Cherawati into the nets. I regret to inform you that Trent Cherawati is indeed a conference leader. The problem is he's the conference leader in service errors.
Do you actually have that statistic?
It is true.
Wow.
That would be 47 on the year now.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. Oh, beg pardon, 48. No, 47. He didn't have one in the first. Tight for Waddell. Saved it. Harris! Big swing. Found the sideline. Owen Harris.
That's a way to respond from the Bears. It's been a while since we've seen some Harris action. Player of the game yesterday. 12 kills. 85% hitting percentage, which is absolutely crazy. Crazy good.
Yeah, he was hyper efficient yesterday. Sargent just cleared the tape. Back row Schmidt with no blockers. Huge kill.
Now that's a bit of the pipe that we saw last night. Not only from Schmidt, but also from the Bears. And so it's nice to see that connection making an appearance again tonight.
It's brilliant volleyball. Here's Schoner now. Good first pass from Edwards. Harris off the block beyond the defense.
Now he's rolling. The big man for the Bears, putting some points on the board. Really solid pass there from Eric Edwards. That was very important on a spin serve like that, get it as close to the net. So you can't run middle if the setter's behind the attack line, usually.
Matt Shand with a serve. Tricky. Good play there from Ryan to just keep it off the floor. Sargent, wow, right down the line. Jacob Sargent unloads.
Van Heusen a little bit late coming back to this one. Watch, he just gets back to the net here as the swing's happening, so not quite in the right spot or exactly where he wanted to be.
Live action, Rempel, partially blocked. Back out, Martins pokes it over. Van Heusen off hands. There's Martins keeping it alive. Harris, that's a point for Alberta on the net touch. That ball likely to find the floor anyway.
Nice run by Waddell there. Martins was out of the play with that dig, and so he was also in the way of the back row, so really only had one option to go to, and Harris really took advantage of that.
Shand with the serve. Van Heusen. Was there a touch? No, there wasn't. They haven't made a ton of attacking errors, Trinity Western, but there's one right there. And a timeout taken by Adam Schreimer. The lead has grown to 3 here for Alberta. That's 4 straight points for the Bears to make it 7-4. Better start to the second set for Alberta.
Yeah, I mean, Bears really starting to get their middle involved again, which was one of their biggest successes last night, and Harris specifically is really showing up now in this set, and I think that's really helping the Bears get their offense going and opening up some seams for the Bears outside hitters now.
Let's take a look at some of the results from last night. Saskatchewan's having a really nice year. They're top 4 at the moment. They defeated McEwen 3-0. Calgary over Fraser Valley 3-1. Of course, the Bears over the Spartans in 4 sets. UBC continues their fantastic season, defeating Winnipeg. And how about the Heat winning again their 10th win in 11 matches to start the year, as they win in 4 over Brandon, and Thompson Rivers gets by Manitoba in 4 sets as well. Those are the results from last night. Of course, a lot of rematches going on here this evening.
Yeah, one of those interesting things about Canada West, you got to be very geared up for a weekend, because you can't just have a bad weekend, because you lose 2 games, not just 1, right? You really got to be ready to roll for their next match less than 24 hours later, usually about 20 hours after the last match is completed.
Matt Shan gets us back underway. Corneal had to readjust, but he found the angle he was looking for and scored.
It was a pretty awkward approach from Corneal. Nice adjustment, though, at the end, though, to be able to make that kill for Trinity. He almost has to stop and move backwards in order to hit that ball.
Yeah, he was expecting a tighter set for sure. They had a couple words after him and Ryan.
Martins. Van Hoosen, big stuff by Harris. Owen Harris comes down fist pumping after that rejection.
Owen Harris is already scary, and he's in his 2nd year. He is going to be a staple for the Bears team going forward here.
He's at the service line, part of the 21 and under national program this summer. Good pass from Schmidt, allows them to run middle to Rempel.
Nice choice to Rempel to go for that 5 angle. He knows that Harris is in the back court now, so tougher for that middle to dig that ball than, say, the libero, and so he takes advantage of that.
Van Hoosen into the net. He had an ace and a couple errors in the first set. Error that time. Now here comes Luke Waddell. Take a look at that last serve. Waddell averages 8.7 assists per set. That's good for 6th in the conference. Schmidt, that hit the antenna, and it hit the antenna before the block. So it's a point for Alberta. Just trying to find that line shot. And you can see it just hammer the post there. Waddell again. Big serve. What a good pass from Callis. Back row, Corneal had no blockers, but he hit it too far. It's out the back.
Interesting choice by the Bears to not have any hands on that back row attack. Oh, it wasn't even a choice. It was an error. Martins went up on the side of there and then obviously was caught, not able to make it out to that back row ball. Lucky for him, though. Worked out well.
I don't know for sure if it was an error or not. Like, it really, they didn't really have much success on that C ball. I mean, error or not obviously worked out in their favor, but it'll be interesting to see again if they
choose to block
what they decide to do going forward, because we have seen the Bears in the past with teams like against UFV last week, or was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Not respecting that C ball, because it's like, if you're not going to score on it,
yeah,
we're not going to go up. We're gonna block that. So it's interesting.
We'll see if it continues. The trend continues.
We'll have to ask the team afterwards.
Look at the serving leaders. This is sorted by aces per set. Luke Waddell is atop the list. Owen Harris in the top 10 as well. And then you see Caden Schmidt and some Ryan for the Trinity Western Spartans. If you go by total aces, Schmidt was second coming in. Van Hoosen was third. Waddell was fourth. So lots of very good servers here. And Harris was just outside the top 10.
But yeah, they need an equal board next to it saying all the errors as well.
Yeah, right. Intrigued
perspective.
Yeah, intrigued by the timeout by Adam Schreimer there. He's now burned both, and it's only 11-6 for the Bears here coming out of this timeout. Through the changeup that time, Schmidt got down really well. Does result in a free ball chance. Waddell, poke by Sargent. And this one does eventually result in a Bears point, despite some good attempts from Trinity Western to keep it off the floor.
I feel like you don't often see two players coming in like that, like a 62 and a 51 at the same time. It really pinches in all the blockers. So maybe, Mark, you can speak to that in men's volleyball. But
definitely a free ball set play that they were trying to run there. But yeah, you're right. It bunches up the blockers, so not always the best, but ended up working out for the Bears.
Schmidt blocked, but it's out of bounds. That big serve, too, was passed once again really well by Tate Callis.
Schmidt definitely not afraid to swing, even when there's 6 hands at the net there. Really good at getting that angle, and he took advantage of that last night quite a lot as well.
I think it's why I was so shocked as Cherawati scores big in the middle, why his first 3 attempts were all soft, when I don't think he had 3 soft attempts all of last night, as we take a look at the block again.
Maybe his shoulder is tired from last night. Wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, what, 42 attempts, 42. Schmidt, that time he just pushed it into the wall, but he's going to get called for a carry. And Mark, you had a quick chat with one of the officials beforehand, because it has been a talking point, not only this season, but last year as well. What is a carry? What is not a carry anymore?
Well, I heard a lot of things, and I don't know if it explained a lot. Like, it made sense, but I still don't know if I agree if that's fair. As a former volleyball player, obviously these refs have tons of years of experience, but there's a good shot from Martins out of the back row. Yeah, it's one of those things that you really just cannot hold on to the ball anything more than a split second. It has to be out of your hands right away. The safest way to not get called for a carry is have your hand fully outstretched and to go only in one direction. If you're grabbing that ball and moving it another direction, like out of bounds off hands, you're going to get called for a lift.
There's a wrist twist or something really obvious. That pass was made by Zach Hofer, who comes in here for Van Hoosen, and Schmidt can't clear the tape. And this set is all Bears. It's 16-7.
Strange. It's back and forth. Just one team gets blown out, the next team another blowout.
Has it been that much different from Alberta, or has it just been a few more mistakes from the Spartans?
It's honestly hard to say. Probably a little bit of both. I honestly think the Bears getting their middle involved this set has been like game-changing for them. They've had so many attacks from that middle position, and they've been successful. I'll be interested to see what the statistics show coming out of this set.
Showing her with a point there, Mark.
Interesting on that last one, they're trapping far in, so they really aren't, they're choosing actively not to respect that D-ball from Corneal continually here.
Shand hard off the hands, kept alive. Schmidt poking it deep, and he immediately put his hands in it, or his face in his hands, and couldn't believe he missed that one. But there's a little bit of that sneaky out of system play from Trinity Western, where Callis will set jumping from the back row.
Well, last night he got called on an over with one of those sets,
right,
where
yes,
he jumped from the back row, which should have been clean. So I'm not sure if the down official saw him touch the line or something like that.
Cherawati blows it out the back again. Still lots of lead here for Alberta to play with as we see Schmidt go to the line. Another former Pac-Man Volleyball Club product, much like Low Ring on the Alberta side. If you've ever gone to a national tournament, and there have been a few here in Edmonton, you'll see Pac-Men, I think at least in the semifinals in almost every age group, both boys and girls. Quite the club they've got out there in the GTA.
Every year, my national final for my U18 year was Pac-Man versus Fog Volleyball Club here in Edmonton.
It always feels like there's multiples of them in each category, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an overpass, and Shand played it, but Callis recovered really well. Here come the Bears again on a free ball chance. Martins from the back, Callis in. Shand blocked, and It's a net touch called, or an under the net on Alberta, so the point goes to the Spartans. I think it was going to be theirs anyway.
Yeah, Shand landing on Corneal's feet here. This will be a really good angle to see it happening. A little bit dangerous there. Glad everyone's all right.
Always amazed it doesn't happen more.
Oh, seriously, it's after I always wonder myself after playing. It's like, wow, it's scary.
Sargent, wow, what a set from Waddell, and a big rip from Sargent.
Nice positioning by Ryan there, though. He almost had that dig. He's definitely watched some video from last night, at least on positioning, but I mean, it's hard to overpower when Sargent has a full rip like that.
Schreimer just had a quick question for the down official about the set from Waddell. Didn't like that he was turning as he made it. Corneal cross courts, and he couldn't find the angle. It's wide. Point Alberta. They're up by 10. This is a strange match. Shand serving. It's a big rip, but it's wide from Hofer.
Well, it's interesting now we're starting to see the Trinity that we saw, especially in that third set last night, but just the hitting errors starting to stack up, the errors on the service line, and the Bears are just starting to run away with it.
It doesn't usually snowball like this on a team like Trinity, as that's a nice dig by Sargent. And the Bears will recycle it here. Chance to attack with Harris. And did Callis keep it up? No, he didn't.
12-point lead for the Bears. Schreimer burning both of Trinity's timeouts with only 6 points on the boards for the Spartans. Might be coming back to bite him a little bit here, but at the same time you wonder, would it have changed anything?
Corneal, that one off of Martin's hands, and scores for the Spartans. At this point, Trinity Western might be trying to get momentum for set number 3 here. Corneal at the line. It was just long. It's a casual leave from the Bears, and they got away with it.
Yeah, if you're committed to leaving that ball, you got to look confident that it's going out.
Here's Harris. One's into the net. Still 23-12. Alberta. We'll see Zach Hofer at the line. Second year out of Langley, BC. And Hofer, that's a perfect serve. And maybe something the Spartans can build off of.
Really solid toss here. Hofer just really leans into this one. Younger kid, but still putting some power on that one.
First ace of the season for Zach Hofer. That one, though, will go long. And it's a set point chance here for Alberta. Multiple set point opportunities as Waddell goes back with the ball, and he's ready to let it fly. He's got that big serve. With this lead, we might see him just uncork one here. He's going for it.
Good prediction. Yeah, you're right on that one.
I think back in high school is about the only time coach would let us go with the jump serve, as if we were up by a whole whack.
Spin to win, they call it.
So Rempel. Back row, Shand. Nice swing and a good effort from Corneal, but he can't track it down. And it's an 11-point win, 25-14 for Alberta here in the second set. We're all even up at a set apiece. So both teams have a big set win. Do we just throw those out now and just play best of 3, basically? Is that the mentality?
It's tough to tell because yesterday, obviously, Trinity winning set number 2 and then following that up with a really bad, like 9-point loss. So I have no idea. I don't know what is going to happen. It's a game of emotions. So
I think that's the best part. And you can find out with us when we return here to the Saville Centre in Edmonton in 2.5 minutes. It's Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel.
Back over to the A-team.
Game with us. I'm going to give her a topic and she has to say as much as she can about that topic in 30 seconds without hesitating or saying the word Taylor, are you feeling ready? Yes. All right. I want you to tell me as many activities as you can do in the winter time. Are you ready? Yes. 3, 2, 1, go. Skiing, snowboarding, oh, great. That would be the word you can't say, Taylor. Thank you so much for playing. Enjoy the rest of the game, Sal.
Thanks, A-team fans. Head on up to the tent on the north side of the track to try out some of our delicious beer options if you are over the age of 18.
Players back on the floor here in Edmonton at the Saville Centre. Third set just about to get underway. It's been one-way traffic in both the sets so far. All Trinity in the opener, 25-17. Then all Alberta in the second, 25-14. Grayson Knutson, Mike Casso, Mark Alexander here with you as Jackson Corneal and Jacob Sargent, the captains. Just having a quick word with our head referee here this evening.
I wonder what it's about. I haven't seen anything that they would need to chat with them about. Maybe just too slow off the benches, both of them?
Didn't seem like they were late, but
no. I'll ask the head official after the match. I do know him, so we'll find out. Stick around for the women's game after, and I'll see if I can let you guys know.
So to get us underway in set number 3, it's Willem van Hoosen back on the floor there after Hofer finished set number 2 for him. And his first serve goes long. Trinity Western, that's their 11th service error of the game. That second set, they were 1-4. Alberta was 0-5 in the second set, but it really didn't matter.
That one really stings because Van Hoosen went to a float off the spin toss. He was trying just to make it, and he didn't.
Here's Waddell. He was going for the spin, and he made it. Callis with another great pass. And Schmidt tried that tip a few times, but hasn't been able to locate it the way he wants.
Yeah, Schmidt having a really tough second set, and continuing that so far in this third one as well. He's hitting negative 21% right now. 8 errors in that last.
14 attempts, that is
not
shocking
good for him.
From him, yeah. Here's Waddell again. This one will go long. First point of the set for the Spartans. They'll send Liam Rempel back to the line, another member of Canada's youth national program. Cherawati in the middle is blocked. Cherawati will take second contact this time. Schmidt tried to dunk it down. Waddell played it with the shoulder. And we keep going. Schmidt couldn't swing on that one. That's gonna be tight. It's a long rally here. Sargent bats it down the line. Ryan dumps, and the Spartans get the point. Our first real long rally of the match, and it goes the way of Trinity Western.
There's some weird plays throughout the entire rally. Schmidt with the double hand set over, and then Cherawati sort of cranking a high ball there that was inside, and oh, it was just very confusing. That was a very weird play.
And another miss serve by the Spartans. And this was more of a problem last night, but it's creeping in a little bit. A good play where they get a point on the long rally, immediately followed up with a miss serve. Here's Martins. That's a miss serve as well. Good rivalry, Alberta, Trinity Western, as you would expect. Believe it or not, 9 of the last 11 Canada West titles, 8 of the last 10 national championships. These two programs on the floor. Big serve, Shand couldn't save it before tumbling over those advertisements that are around the basketball courts.
It is frustrating because there are quite a number of balls that end up very close to those boards on the back end and on the side that I think would be playable if those sponsors weren't there. But we need the sponsors, so.
It's interesting. It depends on where it is as Ryan serves it long. The ones on the end typically have some sort of weight or sandbag in them. The ones in the middle just fall over. So you can run through those ones pretty easy, but you don't want to run through and guess wrong and get one of the ones that has something heavy inside of it.
There's also a lot of dents on some of them, so clearly they've been
run into a few times, yeah. Outside, Schmidt right down the line, and it's kept alive. Look at the reaction from Alberta. Schmidt again, that's off the head of Sargent and stays in play. Martins, oh wow, what a point from Alberta. Are you kidding me? That was off Sargent's head, then played way wide and just kept alive, and Martins somehow caught a rip on it.
Wow, that was incredible. Take another look at this. Oh my goodness.
Here's the swing right off the top of the head of Sargent. Boing. Cherawati saved it. Shan brought it back, and it's Martins. Look at, he picked the spot brilliantly. That's incredible. Now Van Heusen with a big swing. Schmidt sends it back, and Martins both times within a good spot. He's frustrated because he knew he was right there.
But I mean, that's how you respond for Trinity. After a play like that, the Bears have all of the momentum. They have a crowd behind them. That was such a fantastic play, but to come back and just get that point calm and collected, great job.
5 apiece in this all-important third set of a 1-1 match. Good pass from Martins. Sargent! Oh, he's been good! Jacob Sargent, very efficient all night long.
Yeah, he really elevates on this play. Take a look as he jumps there, hits that at the peak of his swing.
He's hitting 70% right now. No errors. On the first set, 7 kills on 10 attempts.
Oh.
Schoener took the first contact. Oh, I thought they were going to let Ryan get away with that.
They did.
And they did.
Wow.
Where'd the whistle come from then?
I think they called Waddell on the net.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, he definitely touches the net. I just heard the early whistle and immediately thought they were calling Ryan for a carry. And I was like, that looked like a pretty nifty play.
When in doubt, carry is the answer.
Fair.
Theme of this year.
Schoener into the net. 7-6, Bears in front. Here it is again. Just clipping it Waddell, you can see there. Here's Shand. Back row, Schmitz! Did he step on the line? I think he did.
Yeah, as soon as he took off, I saw that toe touch the line, and I wondered whether the down official was going to see that. Because he's so quick, sometimes it's easy to miss.
We talk about it. If you're watching that and you go, well, that looked pretty good, because if you are more familiar with long jump, you can go to the end of the board. Here you can't touch the line at all. So imagine if you were doing long jump and you had to jump before you reach the board. It's a similar comparison. And this is going to be a point for Trinity Western. Martins gets called for a carry. We talked a little bit about it in the previous sets, but it's a very subjective call. And even here, sometimes we sit and we go, I'm not sure what they see. That one looked like it sat for maybe a half second, but...
Yeah, but going at full speed, it's easier to see on replay
Sure,
if it looks like it's sagging a little bit.
Harris, just hard off hands, recycles. Martins, blocked, big stuff. Rempel took away the cross-court angle.
Good positioning from the Spartans here. Let's take another look at this will be a great angle here.
Maybe it was Ryan right in the middle. Corneal. Harris, blocked, but it goes out. Oh, Rempel almost had the stuff there, but maybe a little bit too much power blew the hand a little bit back.
Sargent smartly leaves this one. Take a look, he thinks about it. Oh, he's just off camera. He thought about it, reached, and then pulled his hand back.
Harris. Middle run for Rempel. It's tough for Martins from that angle. I think he got called for a lift again. So we've seen the standard. It's very tight. This is just a misplay there by Shand, unfortunately.
It looked like he considered hitting that ball from Waddell and then changed his mind last second, tried to make that set instead.
Another missed serve from Trinity Western again after they hit a point.
Now serving for your Golden Bears, number 4, Waddell.
Here's Waddell now back at the line for Alberta. Schmitz off hands, hard, and well out of bounds for a Spartan point.
You can hear that grunt from here. He hit that with everything he had.
Nice placement just off that left hand of Charawati. Not much that the Bears can do to defend that.
Quick serve from Rempel, trouble for Edwards, and Rempel's got himself an ace. Spartans back in front. It's 11-10 here in set number 3. This is the second ace of the year for Rempel. And he almost had another one right away. Schmitz. Now he's starting to swing a little bit more. Caden Schmitz.
Really succeeding here with these in-system balls from Ryan. You heard him say go from the booth here, right, as they were doing that. Obviously wanting a tempo ball and working out well for the Spartans. So much so the Bears are actually going to call a timeout here.
First timeout for either team in this third set. 3 points in a row for the Spartans brings it to 12-10. Trinity Western in front. Again, the third set in a 1-1 match is a big one. Love to be up 2-1 and not already with your backs against the wall. It's been a strange game.
Yeah, a lot of momentum shifts and a lot of players doing really big things in certain moments and then sort of faltering a couple plays later. So it's very up and down, but that's classic volleyball for you.
It has been entertaining. Haven't quite seen the big offense that maybe we were hoping for. The kills haven't quite been there. Still lots of game left, of course, for some of those big moments. The players will be back on the floor here in just a couple of seconds out of this timeout. Again, the first for either team in this third set. 12-10. Spartans in front.
It's definitely something that can be harder to coach when both teams are just all over the place. It's like, what do you say? Because when things are tighter, it's simple fixes and stuff like that. But when you're losing a set by like more than double-digit points, right? It's a little bit harder to coach in situations like that. Do you pull players? Do you start putting different guys out? Do you trust your team?
Serve there from Rempel, gets us back underway. Sargent, big rip right at Schmidt, who dug it up. Martins, blocked. Good reaction from Cherawati. Cherawati there again. Spartans wanted the double contact, and that one is off the block, and a point for Alberta. And Adam Schreiber standing in the coach's spot, perplexed.
Is he confused about that dig from Cherawati, maybe?
Yes, he didn't like this.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is.
On first contact, you are allowed a little bit of leniency to, if it's one motion.
That's a lot of leniency.
It is. One motion is the official rule.
Big swing by Schoener in the middle, and he's fired up after that. Another look. It's always fun for a middle when they get that full swing, the full extension. The heck was that?
Oh my. I have never seen something like that in person. You see clips of stuff like that on volleyball fails highlight reels, but I think he just blew a tire here and just.
Yeah, he just stumbles. When he goes to plant that left foot to take off, it gives on him. Alberta will take that. That's the strangest play. I've never seen that. Error for error there as Cherawati puts it into the net.
You know what, I have seen that happen once before, where a player went up to try and hit. It was a float serve, and same thing happened. They tripped almost on as if the end line was a bump, and then they staggered and missed the ball.
Crazy.
Feels very weird, I'm sure.
At least in volleyball, there's another point immediately. Somebody will have already forgotten about it. Here's Schmidt. Okay, errors all day is what we've got at the moment. Still a 1 point lead for the Spartans. We'll see if Sargent can get us going here.
Uh-oh. Talking about the servers before they serve, Grayson.
Eventually it'll work. Fourth year out of Lethbridge, Jacob Sargent. And we got a play here. Back row, Schmidt. Oh, what a block! Oh, it's straight down on the other side. Holy smokes.
It came down so fast, it did look like it was a complete stuff by Harris, but based on his reaction, he would have been out of his mind.
More
excited.
Fired up, yeah. Holy, what a rip again from Schmidt in the back. He's starting to feel it now, which is good news for the Spartans. Middle for Harris. Found the sideline, Owen Harris gets it back for Alberta.
Great rotation to be set from that position. Come in and be able to swing, wait for it to come across and swing back to position one is very hard to do. A little bit easier if you're 6'9" and jump really high, but still props to Owen Harris on that one.
It's a missed serve there for Shand. 16-14 Spartans. It's a different set than the first couple. We're staying pretty tight here. See who can seize control. That drops right on the line from Corneal.
It did look like it was going long, and then it just dropped at the last second here.
Bears thought this was going to just go out. Look at it just dip. Great serve from Corneal. It's Genge with the pass this time, and Harris floated there to swing hard.
Harris continuing his good night tonight, hitting above 50% so far in these first couple sets.
Serve from Harris. What a rip, what a pass just to get that from Callis. Kept alive. Where will Ryan go? Middle, it's blocked. Ryan recovered. Van Heusen. Feels like a momentum changing point here, and Sargent goes long, appeals for a touch, and he gets it. It was off the fingertips of the block. Point Alberta.
It's a really solid rally. Both teams putting in a lot of effort, moving all the way around the court for this one.
Just off of Van Heusen there. Van Heusen blocked and it's out of bounds. Point for the Spartans as they keep that 2-point gap.
Van Heusen doing such a good job tonight. Where he faltered yesterday, a lot of trouble hitting against that double block that the Bears put up against him, and now he's really using that outside hand to his advantage and making a lot of points for Trinity.
Oh, Cherawati just wide. That was a great run, just misexecuted at the last moment.
Didn't miss by much.
Martins blocked, shut down on the outside by Ryan. Timeout Alberta. The lead is ballooned to 4 in this third set, and it was the Spartans who have decided to take control here just when we were wondering who was going to grab this set by the neck. It's Trinity Western.
And I don't think you can count the Bears out, obviously. They're very good at, once they start to get their offense going again and not making those unforced attacking errors, they'll start to get in a rhythm. And so Trinity really has to be careful here that they keep coming out with that aggression and leaning on some of their big players like Schmidt to finish off this set for them.
It's a short rest of the set, so the Bears are going to have to almost be perfect here if they want to win this third set, as Guba tries to get the crowd fired up.
Pretty solid crowd on hand here, Saville Community Sports Centre. Not quite as much as yesterday. I think, you know what it's just missing is the school kids. We had a couple buses roll up and a ton of kids pile out. And they were really pumped up. They brought a lot of energy yesterday.
Easy on a Friday to just make the trip over after a practice or after school's out for the day.
That and the bagpipes. We had bagpipes.
Yeah, where's bagpipe guy today?
He's here. He's here. He doesn't have the bagpipes though.
Oh, I see.
How dare he?
He is here. I can see him.
So here we go out of the timeouts. Van Heusen. Back row for Sargent. That time there was no touch, and he put it wide, and it's a 5-point gap for the Spartans. Another look.
It's a nice set by Waddell. Just a little bit of over-rotation from Sargent there to hit it out of bounds.
Van Heusen puts it wide, or sorry, long. Work to do for Alberta in this set. This float serve just didn't want to drop. Big serve, Waddell. Can they save this? No, they can't. Waddell's got an ace.
Nice chase down by Ryan there. Looked like he was almost going to get that. Oh, too bad the ref was there.
If the ref's not there, it might sneak around. Unfortunately, he needs his space. Here's Waddell again. Into the net. Bears can't make those sorts of mistakes this late in a set. Ryan trying to save that one again. It's Liam Rempel, the server. And that one dropped well before the line. Comfortable ace for Rempel. The Bears maybe just crept up.
Yeah, miscommunication, I think. I don't know what exactly happened on this one. It's very strange.
It's Gensch who's in at the libero position now, and maybe just a different face. Cherawati able to score. Knocked the glasses off of Schmidt. Oh, he's lost the little guards on them that keep them from falling off. That's why they flew off his face. So we'll take a moment, just make sure that that's good to go for Caden Schmidt.
I used to be a glasses wearer for volleyball back in the day.
Yeah.
So too many times I got hit in the face, and usually it would be dangerous to cut my nose a little bit. So I forced myself. It wasn't easy to get contacts. It's tough to touch your eye if you're not used to it.
Oh, come on, dude.
It took me a long time.
I wear contacts. It's not that big deal.
It took me a bit. It took me a bit to figure it out. So,
Sounds like it was a big deal for Mark.
I'm assuming that's why he's wearing the sports goggles, not contacts.
My guess too. Some people just can't wear the contacts either. It's a high set for Sargent to try to do something with. Quick for Schoener. Good reaction from Van Hoosen, but it's a block in the end for the Bears. Cherawati was there.
Bears slowly starting to chip away at this Trinity lead. They don't have much room, but they're doing some good things and getting a couple lucky breaks, and they're getting there.
Serve sub came in. That was Kai Bocher. Just not able to make it that time around, and Martins returns for Bocher. It's a set point chance here for Trinity Western. Genge with the pass. Sargent throws it down the line. That's going to be that carry call that we've seen throughout the game. And 25-20 is the score in the third set for Trinity Western as they take a 2-1 lead. Here's the Sargent carry. The results in that final point.
Yeah, and just sort of a weird set for both teams, but Trinity really doing a good job in the latter half of that set at being really aggressive on their attack and their serve, and they were able to close out the Bears. I wouldn't say handily, but they did it with a lot of aggression.
It was tight right up until 16-14, and then the Spartans pulled away. We'll take a break right now as they get ready for another in-house promotion. Fourth set action coming up in just a moment here on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel. Stay with us.
Thank you for playing, guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
As the players retake the floor, they're an Oiler fan. I'm sure they enjoyed the 4-0 victory for the Oil over the Kraken this afternoon. Nice to get the matinee on a Saturday afternoon. Frees up the rest of your evening. Caden Schmidt getting loose, getting stretched out. He is the leading attacker for Trinity Western. However, he's technically still hitting a negative percentage. 9 kills on 26 attempts with 10 errors. There's your leading attacker for Alberta. In the foreground, Sargent up front with Cherawati and Martins. Sargent, 10 kills on 19 attacks and just the 2 errors. He was extraordinarily efficient up until that last set where he ran into a little bit more trouble. Grayson Knutson with Meg Cassot and Mark Alexander here with you on a Saturday night. Spartans lead this match 2-1. Outside for Caden Schmidt. That is a huge stuff from Cherawati and Sargent. First point to the Bears in set 4.
Domination on this block here. Look at this. Huge wall being put up by the Bears.
It's only 3 blocks for Alberta through 3 sets. That's way down from their normal average. Again, almost 2.5 per set. Look at that one, just snap off of Callis. Cherawati straight down off of Rempel for a Bears point.
I've got a bit of a theory as to why the Bears are a little bit down in blocks.
Oh,
I think
do tell.
Part of it is going to be the amount of errors that the Spartans are making.
Sure.
They're not giving the Bears the opportunity. You hit it in the net, you hit it out of bounds. You're not getting that opportunity for that block.
There's logic to that. Here's Luke Waddell. Good pass from Van Hoosen. Out to Schmidt, blocked. Schmidt was able to recover, got another swing. Sargent off the block and out. Brock Davidoff was very upset, thought Schmidt should have been called for a double contact there. His team gets the point in the end.
Schmidt's struggling again, trying to get past that Bears block. He really came to life in the latter half of that last set again and really improved his hitting percentage. But again, just struggling to get around such a big Bears block.
Waddell picking a spot that time. Corneal from the back. How about that? Mark, you said they were ignoring that earlier. I don't think you can ignore it now.
No, it's looking solid. They've made some adjustments. Really good swing. Bears just a split second away from actually just slamming that one straight down in a block. They just weren't pressed over the net just enough.
Rempel serve. Quick for Cherawati. Excellent run from the Bears. One more look.
Cherawati only hitting 28% right now. His kills are so gigantic when they happen. It really makes it feel like he's got more kills than he does.
He is the 3rd most efficient hitter in the conference, 42% coming in action tonight, so that 28 is a little bit down. Schoener caught the hands, and that'll be a point for the Spartans.
They stayed down again on that Corneal swing, but dug up well by Martins on that play, the back row.
Ansem Ryan from Erfurt, Germany. Meg, you familiar?
Yes, I have played there. I didn't know that people from Erfurt came to Canada, so hey.
There you go, Ansem Ryan.
People from Canada go there, but yes, they come back too. There you go.
And you were playing on a club over there, yeah?
Yes, that was one of my professional contracts, but nice to see them coming and playing in youth sports as well.
There certainly has been a big international influence in youth sports, particularly Canada West Volleyball, as that's a huge serve from the Alberta Golden Bears, Trent Cherawati. Obviously, we've seen it here at the U of A with the likes of the New Zealanders and the Australians who come up and play, but plenty of European flair all throughout Canada West too, and it adds something, doesn't it? A different style, a different look, and it increases the play.
Yeah, Philip Lauder, another German that comes to mind from the Brandon Bobcats, obviously just coming off a huge win of U Sports Nationals. So really solid player for them. He was on the all-rookie team back when he came into the league a few years ago. I wonder if there's anybody watching from Germany. There could be.
I hope so.
I'll ask you the question. It always happens. What time is it in Germany right now?
If it's about 6:30 here, you're looking at, it's probably like 1:30-ish, 2:30 in the morning type of thing.
Boy.
They'd really have to be committed.
So maybe they're watching like Sunday morning,
maybe
when they get up on delay. So if you are, appreciate you tuning in as we go through some of the highlights of the match so far. It's a 6-2 lead here in the 4th set for the Bears. They've got off to a really good start and a nice bounce back after a poor latter half of that 3rd set for Alberta.
Yeah, I mean, Alberta just really, again, their middle, as soon as their middles start getting involved, Chirawati, and I'm sure we're going to see Harris here once he gets going in the front row, they're so dominant in that middle position, and it really then starts to open up the outside. So we start to see people like Sargent really starting to get back into the groove with their hitting percentages as well.
It's a big swing from Chirawati from the end line, but it goes out the back. Saw the Panda players were warming up in that awkward spot to get ready to go here for a possible 4-set, but might have to wait around. Here's Schmidt. No aces yet for Caden. Shand, that's a good swing, and Matt Shand needs to get going, and that'll help.
Yeah, we were talking, Grace, in between sets about how quiet Shand has been tonight. A few too many errors, and then he just didn't get a whole lot of volume after he started to make those outside hitting errors. So it's nice to see that he's starting to get a rhythm going again, and he's a really important player for the Bears, so I hope to see him involved a bit more.
Back row, Schmidt able to score from the pipe.
Yeah, good to see the Spartans running some back row stuff from the pipe. We've seen some of that C-ball, but we really haven't seen a whole lot of straight pipes here from Schmidt. We saw a little bit yesterday for sure.
Yep.
A couple huge ones.
Big time. Showing her. That's out the back. Trinity Western through 3 sets, 9 aces, 18 errors. Alberta 2 and 15. Trinity had 4 aces in that last set. Here's Shand. Corneal! Nice rip for Jackson Corneal.
Corneal doing a really good job tonight of finding that seam. The Bears are just a little late closing, and so it opens up that little bit of a sliver of a seam, and he's able to find it every time.
Talk a little bit about Corneal. Normally a middle blocker, playing on the outside. Piers de Grief hasn't played yet this year for the Spartans, as that one is just wide from Alberta. And so that's another big piece that's missing from this Trinity Western lineup. And Corneal, the veteran he is, has made a good adjustment sliding to the outside, as we see Sargent just mishit that one. Corneal again. They'll try Sargent. Nobody went up to block him. He caught the tape, and it just fell to the floor.
Neither of these teams want to block that back row ball.
Strange that the Spartans wouldn't, considering it's such a big part of what Alberta likes to do, especially when Sargent's in the back. Here's Owen Harris. Van Heusen, that's kept alive. Martin's not going to be able to track it down, however. Another point for the Spartans. Crawling back, it's a 2-point game at 9-7.
Now serving for the Spartans, number 5,
Willem Van Heusen out of Langley, gets to play nice and close to home. Chirawati just a little high, but you know what? Just tapped it beyond the block and scored anyway.
Yeah, both teams have gone away from those soft attacks and those roll shots. They were very effective in the first part of that first set, and so nice to see that they're still using some tactical play throughout this game.
It's almost as if in that first set, both teams knew the other was going to come out swinging, so both of them didn't. How about the serve from Waddell, but how about the reaction from Ryan to keep it off the floor? Sargent! Oh, wow! If you're not going to go up and block, that's what's going to happen.
Wow, oh me, oh my. That is a swing and a half. That's hitting warm-up. No block, just jumps up there and crushes that one to the floor.
I don't know if Schmidt forgot there for a second that
he
Sargent
bit pretty
was in
hard.
the front row, but holy.
Waddell, great pass from Callis. Corneal with no blocks, just on the back line.
In this gym, we don't block the right side.
Apparently not.
One more look. Just found that line. Great shot. Rempel. Sargent, strong off the block and out. Another point for the Bears.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this right side blocking and the choices that both teams are making when they block and when they don't block, because both teams have also blocked that right side throughout this game. So I don't know what's making the difference here on their blocking choices.
Showing her with a higher middle set, and he's able to convert going deep. Another look. Able to catch them on the way down. Here's Ryan. Shand blocked. Did it land in? No, it's out. Spartans seem convinced otherwise. This will be a good look from the end cap. Looks out to me.
It is close though.
Here's Cherawati. Corneal, hard off the hands. Waddell, Harris, kept alive by the Spartans. Good defense. Jacob Sargent, that's blocked. Showing her, as well as Corneal. Not a lot of room that time for Jacob Sargent.
And Sargent usually used to hitting out of that right side position, so often when they get caught on the left side of the court, it's a different way to attack, and it can be even just a mental game to be able to hit an attack or a high ball out of that position.
Serve from Schmidt. What a rip. Waddell saved it. Harris is going to get called for a reach or a carry or a lift or something. We're still trying to figure out the exact specifics of the rule, but let's give the referees the credit. They said this is our standard, and they've upheld it the whole time, which I think as a player, all you want is the consistency. You'd like it from match to match, but at least in this one match, they know what the bar is. That was touched by Genge on the way by. That's an ace.
He really tried to sell that he didn't touch that one. He full celebrated, saying it was out, but this will be a good look here. See if it just grazes him on the way by. Barely.
Just, if he leaves it, it's probably going out. That's first ace for Schmidt tonight. And the second goes into the net.
Geez, I wouldn't want to be a Spartan standing at the net when Schmidt is serving. That is terrifying.
You do often see those players up there with their heads, or their hands right behind their head.
Yeah, but it doesn't protect their face though when it bounces off the net.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you
can't protect everything.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just like defense. You can't guard everything. Back row for Schmidt. Nice dig by Sargent. Shand recycles. Sargent, he had to try to do something there, make it up on the fly to get it over, but couldn't.
Really nice recycle by Shand there to give the ball back to the Bears. Unfortunately, as we saw, Sargent just unable to get that ball over.
Tyson Hofer, the fifth year from Langley, wearing number 16, comes in to serve this time. So we saw Zach earlier, now we get Tyson. Middle, Harris tipped. Good dig by Hofer. Van Heusen down the line, there's Genge. Martins from the back. Another big swing from Dylan Martins.
Wow, really proficient out of the back row on these high balls. That was very impressive. Same spot on the court too.
It's been a little bit inconsistent at times throughout the year for Dylan Martins, but this feels like a game that would get a guy going in the right direction. Maybe just unfortunate it's the last game before about 6-7 weeks off. Corneal! Wow! Big time rip!
Where did this one go? Is it back door behind the block?
This will be the look. Just kind of right around.
Yeah.
Corneal now from the service line floats one over. Martins blocked. Oh, look at it bounce back on the Spartan side. Schmidt rolled it over. Genge flying in. Martins gets another swing. Schmidt on the back line. Free ball. Oh, it dunked from Waddell. Hadn't gone to the well yet, but that time he scores with a clever play.
Nobody's expecting a dump 4 sets into this match. It's a really good play from Waddell. Look at this, bounce off of Martins, up back over.
It almost looked like he meant to kick it, even though I know that was likely just the energy in the body.
I think there's a part of every volleyball player that just wants to get one of those kick saves.
Sure. Harris took something off that a little bit too much as it goes into the net. It was around this time last set when Trinity Western started to pull away for good. Van Heusen. Cherawati couldn't find the angle.
$16 apiece here. Traditionally, where they would have years ago now, it seems like, had the technical timeout.
Oh, remember the technical timeout? Sargent, big rip again, and Jacob Sargent gets another point. We're going to wind up talking about the technical timeout the same way we did about side out points.
That was even further back.
That's a long way back, I know, but
the turn of the century.
Last weekend we were talking about the paddles when you substitute in.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Now everything's electronic, of course. That one from Waddell is long. Spartan bench likes that. Here's that last point.
17-17, back to the line, number 17.
Corneal making a mad dash for the stands, almost able to grab that one.
Rempel, that's just a flat serve. Martins fights through the block and scores again. Schoner maybe not quite closed over with his teammate. Schmidt gets it right back and fires another one home.
Schmidt doing a really good job of getting outside the court to attack that ball. Made a pretty quick pass, and Ryan had to get under that pretty quickly, and he's able to get really far outside and still make a really nice attack on that ball.
He really asked a lot of Ryan there, didn't he? But the setter made a great play, and that was his serve. Back row for Martins! And now with Martins swinging out of the pipe, that's when you know he's starting to really roll.
Yeah, this is the point of the match where you want to feel like all of your hitters are in a rhythm, and I do think that on both sides, all hitters are really starting to get going, and that's why we have such a tight match right now.
It is a must-win set for the Bears. Just got it over. Good reaction, Schoner. Corneal able to score again. Jackson Corneal in this fourth set has really started to take over for the Spartans.
Great look as he muscles this one over. Owen Harris just not quite pressed over the net on that one.
Brock Davidoff looks and sees who's at the service line. Sees the number 7 and says, let's let him think about it for another minute or so. Timeout taken by Alberta, just their first in this fourth set. So it's a sprint now to the final 6 points here in this set. And again, Alberta has to win to extend this match.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I'm sure Trinity is also feeling a bit of pressure here too. They know that they're not going to be able to close out this match with the amount of hitting errors and serving errors that they had yesterday and then earlier on in this game. So they're definitely going to have to keep their foot on the gas and make sure that Alberta isn't in system here.
I think another thing too is Trinity would love to finish this off in 4. Again, we've gone the last couple years to the point system. If you win in 3 or 4, you get 3 points. If you win in 5, you get 2. The other team gets 1. And if you lose in 3 or 4, you get 0. Here's the standings. For the women, we'll see the Pandas coming up next, and the serving leaders of all. There's the men's standings. UBCO on top of 10-1, and Alberta, UBC tied on 24 points. Alberta's lost less sets, that's why they have the second seed, the Trinity Western, there at number 4. And if you are Alberta, you say, well, wouldn't it be nice to push this to 5, knowing that even if we lost, we'd at least steal a point away, and maybe that Davidoff timeout works as Schmidt puts it into the net.
Never a bad option to take that timeout, and at a critical moment like that, and make that player think for an extra few seconds before they have to serve.
Do have another one yet, just in case he needs, so good coaching there from Davidoff. Schoener in the middle. You could see it coming right from the word go, and Corey Schoener didn't miss.
Wow, what a play. Look at Schoener from the Spartans putting this one to the floor. Sargent took a bit off it on the serve just to make sure it went in bounds. I wonder if he's regretting that now.
Well, at least he made the play inbounds.
Schoener serves it in too, and they force Harris. Spartans scramble, and Corneal is blocked. Back on the Bears' side. Sargent, no blockers! And it's an easy score again.
Again, that's just a very odd blocking, like non-block choice by Trinity to make. Sargent's been on a roll, particularly from that back row recently, and so to make that decision and say, let's force you to hit it in the court, seems like an odd choice at this point in the match.
Here's Shand. It's an overpass, and Harris just misplayed it. Schmidt got away with one there.
Tough time for a play like that. Very unfortunate error for the Bears. Spartans going to be really happy with the outcome of that one.
Harris likely not expecting that to come his way and wasn't sure what to do with it. Serve from Corneal. Harris, oh, he gets that point right back.
That's a way to respond after making a mistake. Put it to the floor.
22-21. Jarvis Page will come in here for Luke Waddell, and this looks to me like a height option with the front row setter.
I mean, 6'5" versus 6'7", those extra 2 inches.
Yeah.
Really getting
they're
up
all
there.
so short out there, aren't they? Harris, what a serve! Owen Harris, and he mean mugged this way too. That's a big point, 2-point lead for the Bears. Timeout, Trinity Western. Second of the set called by Adam Schreimer.
I really like to see that Harris, I mean, he made that unforced error a couple points ago and just came back with an absolute aggressive attack, and then on the service line as well. It's hard to do when you're only in your second year to have that kind of mental stability at this point in the match. So really well done by him to just bounce back and get some points for the Bears.
We've chatted a couple of times now with Owen in our post-game show, and a reminder, everybody, stay tuned after we're done. The match will have a player interview, but he's very even keel, very calm, well-spoken young man, and he seems to be one of those players who maybe doesn't get too high, too low, and it shows on the floor. Big points here. Spartans would love to get this next one. Put a little bit more pressure on the Bears. Alberta would like to be 1 point away from forcing a 5th and final set here. There's a look at Harris. Still got that Movember stash going. Another couple of days. Speaking of the Oilers game earlier, that was Gene Principe's bit today, was shaving his mustache while he was doing the pregame intro and celebrating Movember.
Followed up by a classic Principe pun.
He is the best. That one is just wide from Harris. He didn't miss that sideline by very much. Waddell will come back in for Page for the Bears. Willem Van Hoosen. He kind of hit or miss from the line. Couple aces, couple errors. Waddell dunks it! And a front row setter. And Waddell took advantage of a tight set to the net.
You also got to have a lot of confidence as a setter at this point in the match to be dumping that ball, because if that isn't a point for your team, your hitters are pretty mad.
Set point, Golden Bears looking to force a fifth. Schmidt got it back, and it just got stuck in the hands and wouldn't come free.
When I think at this point in the set, or in the match, excuse me, you know that ball is going to Schmidt at a time like this. So, I mean, the Bears doing a good job of getting 6 hands up, but sometimes you just can't contain a player like him.
Rempel, that short serve, look how crashed in the Bears defense is. Martins off the block, and we'll play 5. 25-23, the tightest set yet. This is more like Bears and Spartans.
Well, Meg, you said yesterday we're going to get 4 or 5. Yesterday we got 4, today it's 5.
Yeah, very good volleyball on both sides throughout all these sets tonight, and I'm excited. A 5th match between these two teams is always exciting. I'm hoping for extra points. I feel like we're going to get them. I'm feeling confident.
This set certainly felt a lot more like what we expected between these two teams. We'll step aside before that sprint. That is set number 5 coming up in about 2.5 minutes on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel.
How else does one hold this?
Is it fuzzy?
Yeah, it is. Ooh. It's like comedy. You want to grip it? She's really comfortable there, Taryn.
Players coming back on the floor here at the Saville Centre in Edmonton for a 5th and deciding set between the Bears and the Spartans. Grace and Megan Mark here with you. There's a look at the U Sports Top 10, and as per normal, Canada West heavy. UBC, Trinity Western, Alberta 1, 2, 3. UBCO at number 6, and Saskatchewan sneaking into the top 10 as well. So, again, if you're not familiar, the 5th set only goes to 15. So it's more of a sprint than the marathons of the previous set. So an opening strong start is very important.
Yeah, definitely, and it starts with this serve right here.
And it's Liam Rempel getting us underway. Waddell out for Martins. He's blocked, showing her. Big first point.
That's how you start a 5th set. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Really nice close and reach back in there, cutting off all angles from Martins.
Once again, Rempel. Middle, Cherawati is stuffed. This time it's Schmidt. Back-to-back blocks for the Spartans.
Wow. Look at this one here. He's just covering everything. Look at that wide reach. The long arms of Schoner and Schmidt coming in there.
Tough sledding for the Bears early on in set number 5. Martins, this time down the line, no touch. Point Trinity Western, and they're off to a very good start. And the one lines person had the flag up indicating a touch. Sometimes they'll overturn this. Usually it's just more of a, here's what I saw. Oh, and it was almost immediate. Can we see it from this angle?
Oh, it did
Maybe
look
the
like
pinky?
the finger, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it goes off Ryan.
I mean, he did try and sell that hard that he did not touch it, so played his part, his acting role.
Here's Waddell. Outside, Schmidt with a tip, perfectly placed. Now with the threats of Schoner and Schmidt up front, it's a bit of a tough task right now for the Bears blocking.
I think I finally have an answer as why they're not blocking the right side. Martins goes with the middle so that they can get a double block out to the left side. That's why they're ignoring these right side balls. They're playing the odds.
Middle for Cherawati, and he can't find the sideline. 4-1 for Trinity Western, and Brock Davidoff is going to take a timeout. And that means we have to step aside as well. Good start for the Spartans in set number 5. We'll be right back. Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel. Inside the Saville Centre for this 5th set. 4-1. Spartans off to a great start as Ansem Ryan fires it into the net. So another coach's point for Davidoff.
It's interesting that there's only a 2-point game here. It really feels like Spartans came out to such a big lead, but only a couple of errors here and a service ace, and they're back in it.
Martins. Here's Schmidt. Big time rip cross court. Caden Schmidt.
This is the point in the match that you're thankful that you ran a lot of middle early. Look, Cherawati gets stuck with the Spartans middle there. With Schoner. Leaves a one-on-one on the outsides.
Schmidt was able to get that hitting percentage above 0. He's at 3% at the moment. A little bump after that last one. And Genge just kept it off the floor. Van Hoosen. Here's another chance for Trinity Western. Schmidt from the back. Off the block, kept alive. Shand. Long rally, Schmidt again. What a kill! Caden Schmidt!
This is what volleyball is all about. Big rally, people diving to the floor and then finishing off with a huge kill.
Another timeout taken by the Golden Bears. Brock Davidoff going to burn them both here in the first 8 points. It was 4-1, now it's 6-2. As Trinity Western is doing a lot of the damage. Alberta can't find a way through right now.
Yeah, I mean, Trinity offense is just really solid right now, both from the back row and the front row. And they're just putting a lot of pressure on the Bears. They don't have a lot of response to the aggression that Trinity's showing.
Again, this set only goes to 15. We will switch sides at 8. So you kind of get a little bit of a breather there anyways. And maybe Davidoff considers that kind of a de facto timeout. And so you might as well use them all. Yeah. The Bears with that big breath in and out again as a team.
Not a lot of points to play with in a 5th set once you're down a few. Really got to mitigate as much damage as you can and get right back at it. Can't really work your way into a fifth set like some of these other sets when you have so many 25 points to work with.
So it's Schmidt at the line. Will he go big here? Did, but he put it into the nets. Cherawati goes back to the service line. He's got a couple of aces, but also, again, 4 errors. It's kind of an all or nothing type of server. It's nothing this time.
It's tough because the Bears are getting a few lucky breaks with Trinity missing their serves, and they're just unfortunately following suit with a missed serve themselves, so they're not able to crawl back and get some of these points back on the board.
Tyson Hofer subs in again here to do the serving for Schoener. Tight to the net, and it's put down by Rimple. And we'll go to the side switch at 8-3 Spartans.
Wow, I did not think it was going to start like this. It was such a back and forth. Once you get to a fifth set, each team's won 2, so it's been very even, but I guess we've seen that a little bit in some of those earlier sets. Yep. Teams winning by tons and tons of points. It's maybe not as surprising as we thought.
Well, I think in particular, sorry guys, I think in particular, Trinity's been really good at the start of the set. They're good at the end and the start. They sometimes have a little bit of falter in the middle. So this is sort of what we've seen already, but unfortunately the Bears just don't have enough points to climb back into it.
So maybe this is a little bit more surprising just based on the previous set, how tight it was, that this one's gone away as Tyson Hofer serves up and it goes long. Schoener will come back and then make way for the libero Callis. And we'll get Jacob Sargent now for Alberta. Work to do for the Bears. And the track is getting a little short. Middle, and it's Rimple straight down. Well, you could read that's exactly where it was going as soon as that first pass was made.
Harris not fully committing to him, just a little bit of a hop there, hoping to catch him late, but unfortunately not enough power on block defense.
Corneal. Back for Sargent, and that got stuck in the hands, and Van Hoosen a little bit frustrated that he couldn't find that ball.
Here's a good look at it, just sneaking through.
Here's Shan. Van Hoosen blocked. Another chance for the Spartans. And a net touch called on Alberta. What a break for Trinity Western. They said it was Waddell.
Yeah, it's unfortunate break. That's exactly, you want that free ball at this point in the set. And they had an opportunity to get a free point here.
Just on the bottom right there, the shoulder. Sargent. And that's going to be a net touch called this time on Schmidt. Went up for a big block here. And it was a little bit too aggressive. It's not good when the legs are flailing about on the takeoff. Owen Harris getting ready to serve. Just a quick wipe up on the Spartan side. Big rip by Harris right at the net. Schmidt blocked and it goes out of bounds. Point Spartans.
That is so unfortunate for the Bears off such a good serve from Harris that they're stuck with this awkward one at the net. Gives the Spartans a great chance to send it up to Schmidt. He can rip it off hands.
Liam Rempel. is back at the service line. It's 11-6 Spartans. It's a few points away from a win on a Saturday. Schmidt. It's given away by the Bears. Schmidt. And a net touch called on the Bears again. It's been maybe the messiest set of the match for the Bears, coming at a rough time.
All kinds of scramble for the Bears there. Waddell a little bit out of position, was trying to stay. Both players not really sure what everyone was doing there.
And I think Sargent would like that free ball pass back to give his team a better opportunity.
Sargent. Big stuff! What a block! Showing her Schmidt. No way through.
Oh man, Schmidt just gives a huge chest bump to head coach Adam Schreimer here. Look at this celebration, the chest bump. Boom!
Schreimer looks like he could still play easily.
Oh yeah.
Into the net. Bears get a little bit of a lifeline. They're gonna have to go on a run here with Waddell. Back and forth match, this one. Spartans won the first, Bears the second. Spartans went up 2-1, the Bears tied it up again. Here's Waddell into the net, match points coming up for Trinity Western, and a handful to play with. They're the Lady Spartans. That one finger up in the air, one more point. So do the Spartans bench players. Waddell, Sargent, blocked! Schoner! And the Spartans win it on a Saturday in 5 here in Edmonton. What a match between these two schools, and a split over the course of the weekend. I think it's pretty much exactly what everyone expected going in.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more from the Bears in that last set, obviously, but I mean, Trinity just absolutely dominant at the net there, both on blocking and on offense. So I mean, props to them for really challenging the Bears tonight and forcing them to play to a really high level. It's great volleyball.
Wow.
What did you think?
What a shocker at the final end there. I mean, just like you said, you thought it'd be a little bit of a closer fifth set, and then it just wasn't. Trinity just ran away with it. Nothing subtle too, just huge play, massive blocks, massive kills. They really just played some really huge plays, highlight volleyball to finish it off there.
Their points as the night got on got louder and louder and louder, didn't they?
Yeah, they really dialed things in. I think they're a really good team at making adjustments throughout the match. They're really able to analyze what's going on and where they need to be blocking, maybe switching to cross or line blocks, and really good at adjusting on the fly.
Just going to take a couple minutes here as the Spartans just gather real quick for a post-game huddle, and then we'll get Ansem on the post-game show here, so stick around with us as the two teams continue to shake hands. Of course, we've got the ladies coming up. The Pandas are going to take on the Spartans. That's the #1 ranked team in the nation, the University of Alberta, against the #4 Spartans. It's amazing. This weekend we had all 4 teams in the top 4 in U Sports. It's real special what these two programs are doing at the moment.
One interesting thing to note, you brought up points earlier. It is a weekend split, but it's not even. The Bears are going to earn more points than the Spartans this weekend.
That's right. Alberta will take 4 points out of 6 this weekend, and Trinity Western will get 2 out of a possible 6. There's a look at the post-game huddle with head coach Adam Schreimer right in the middle. And then hopefully Ansem will make his way up here, and he's on his way now. Quick handshake with Brad Hamilton, who helps run our game day show here. And we'll get Ansem in here real quick for a quick interview. Just throw that on. I'll make sure it's all good for you. And there we go, Ansem Ryan joining us here post-game. First of all, congratulations on the victory. Back and forth tonight. It felt like both teams were really struggling to find their footing early, but you guys got it towards the end.
Yeah, I feel like today was all about serving. What team was serving tougher? And there was times we're up there, times they were better than us. That really dominated the game today, I feel like.
What was some of the bigger talking points in this morning's video session that you guys went over ahead of tonight's game?
A big point was just like showing resiliency, and we're missing 2 core guys right now. They're injured and out, but we have such a deep bench, and we're all capable of playing in this league, and we want to show that today, and yeah, I feel like we did.
So as a setter, how can you bounce back from certain plays? Obviously, there were times in this match you're down by quite a bit, and you have some of your hitters, star hitters, hitting in the negatives. How do you bounce that as a setter?
I think in those times it's just about staying calm and just reassuring my spikers that we'll just keep setting them. I'm like keep trusting them, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
You guys are 8-2 here at the Christmas break. I know Piers has been out the whole time. Yeah. Another guy you mentioned too. But how would you assess the first half of the season for the Trinity Western Spartans?
We're really happy so far with the results. Like we said, core guys are out, and we're still performing well. So we hope we can carry that performance over into the second semester.
Absolutely. Okay, here's your chance. Time to say hi to anybody back in Langley, hi to say anybody overseas in Germany. The floor is yours, Ansem.
I want to say hi to my family, to my parents, and to my brothers back at home in Germany. Thanks.
There you go. Perfect. And did you know that your hometown in Erfurt is the same town where our Meg Cassot, who's doing color, she played club volleyball there.
Let's go.
She was playing professionally, so there you go.
It's a good
connections with Germany.
Yeah, it's a good first league team.
Ansem, congratulations on the win. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Ansem Ryan joining us here, setter for the victorious Trinity Western Spartans here this evening. 32 assists. He also had 3 kills on 5 attempts, 3 service aces for Ryan, and also a couple of block assists. So stuffing the stat sheet as you would expect from a very tall 6 foot, 7, 8, 9 setter, whatever he is. I guess they technically have him listed at 7, but
do we trust any of those really? Is anyone actually honest about their height?
Just final thoughts here, guys, from a Bears perspective. They'll go into the Christmas break at 8-2. A couple of hiccups, the UBCO loss on the road, and then tonight. But Meg, maybe start with you. What do you make of the first half from a Golden Bear perspective?
I mean, I think they still have a few things to work on. They're really good when they're feeling good, and they struggle a little bit when they get out of rhythm. And I think that's just a testament to, unfortunately, how young of a team they are right now. Missing some of those key players like Teslinga that we talked about and Espedito. But I mean, I think they're still a force to be reckoned with. They're a very offensive team, and I think it'll only improve as the season goes on.
Mark, what are your thoughts?
I think it is funny to think about a younger team that you could almost call, parts of it rebuilding, and they're contending for a championship, right? That's how good of a squad, right? That you can be in a rebuilding year, quote unquote, and be contending for a championship.
Impressive first halves from both of these two teams, both going in with 8-2 records to the break. Again, we've got the ladies match coming up, so a different set of instructions now. If you're watching us on CBC or online or on CBC Gem, please join us on Canada West TV. If you have TELUS Optic TV, just keep it where you are. If you're on Canada West TV, of course, flip over the ladies game. We'll get that going in about 18.5 minutes. Big thank you to our crew here at the Saville Centre, Mark and Meg and myself, Grayson. We'll see you back here shortly for the men's game in Edmonton between the Spartans and the Pandas.